Hi, everyone. Welcome to the 2019 Connected Consumer Series featuring today's webinar, How GNC, Under Armour, and Aldo Leverage Personalization to Reshape the Post-Sale Experience. I'm Glenn Taylor, Senior Editor for Retail TouchPoints, and I'll be moderating today's presentation. I'm very excited for the content today because we get to see 3 live examples of retailers creating personalized experience for their shoppers, especially after the transaction is complete. These retailers are better engaging their shoppers beyond the point of sale, and they're incentivizing them to return through some personalized communications. Slide, you'll find the Twitter handles for myself and all the companies participating today, as well as the event hashtag CCS19. We encourage you to share any key takeaways, questions, and feedback you have through Twitter using the hashtag, and of course, by tagging us directly. For those that are new points, here's just a quick overview for you. We're an all-digital media company publishing 3 weekly online newsletters, daily news, special reports, multimedia presentations, and much more. We're also the host of the annual Retail Innovation Conference in New York City, which will be held right in Midtown May 6th through 8th, 2019. And if you haven't done so already, I highly recommend that you check out our website, retailtouchpoints.com, and, of course, subscribe to our newsletter. We're also sweepstakes throughout the week-long series where attendees can win prizes like Apple AirPods, Starbucks gift cards, as well as free tickets to one free ticket, to our annual Retail Innovation Conference in New York City, which once again will take place in May 2019. Each of you watching already earned 1 entry into the drawing by registering for this session, and if you're attending this webinar live right now, you'll receive a 2nd entry as well. Throughout the series, you will earn 1 entry for each CCS19 webinar you sign up for and an additional entry for each session you attend live. We'll be giving away a total of 5 free tickets, and we'll be announcing a winner each day of the series, so be sure to stay tuned in all week long for your best chance to win. Presentation, we're using the On24 platform. Right now, you should be viewing the On24 dashboard. By clicking the questions widget on the right side of the screen, you can type in questions during the live presentation and press submit. You can also find the resources tab right below. Here you can download some assets that our presenters provided for you, as well as have some follow-up insights. And note that today's presentation is slated to run for 30 to 40 minutes or so, just in time for live questions at the end. Again, I encourage you all to submit your questions through the On24 questions area as it comes to mind, and of course, share any feedback you have on Twitter. We'll get through as many questions as we can, but we encourage a follow-up conversation on social media as well. Still wanted to note that this webinar is being recorded, so all attendees will receive an archived link to the presentation to go back to, review, and share with colleagues. And here's a little bit about our speakers today, and we'll get things started. So just to start off, we have Sandra Martineau from Aldo, Jennifer Beefel from GNC, Brent Ott from Under Armour, as well as Tomas Diaz from Flex Engage. Please tell us a little bit about yourselves as well as your roles within the organization, starting with you, Jennifer.
Hi, this is Jennifer Beefel. I am lead loyalty and direct customer channels at GNC. GNC may know as a leading health and wellness retailer for over 80 years. We have 8,500 locations worldwide in both corporate, franchise, online, and store-within-a-store formats. Our products include a variety of health-related items from sport performance to weight management and wellness solutions, both proprietary GNC products as well as third-party top brands.
Great. Now off to you, Sandra.
So this is Sandra Martineau. I'm Director of CRM and Loyalty for the Aldo Group. We're based in Montreal and have been since 1972. We joined the American market in the late 90s. We are in the malls just around the corner from you, as well as in 3,000 other locations in about 100 countries across the world. Our goal is to provide fashionable, comfortable, affordable footwear and accessories for the market at large.
Excellent. Now on to you, Brett.
Hey, everyone. This is Brent Ott. Honored to be joining everybody today. I've actually been with Under Armour 10 years this month, so pretty exciting. I spent the first few years in various leadership roles in the field, and then most recently I'm leading global store experience on the store operations team. So Under Armour is obviously a leading innovator of performance athletic gear. We were founded in 1996, and I'm excited for the call, guys.
Excellent. And finally, Tomas.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tomas Diaz, and I'm the CEO of FlexEngage. FlexEngage is a platform that helps retailers manage and personalize all of their post-purchase communications. We're based in Orlando, Florida, and we're also happy to be here today.
Great. And the title of today's discussion is How GNC, Under Armour, and Aldo are leveraging personalization to reshape the post-sale experience. Tomas, when we say leveraging personalization to reshape the post-sale experience, what exactly are we referring to here?
Yeah, thanks, Glenn. You know, today when we talk to most every retailer out there, we hear that they're all trying to find ways to be more personalized or be more relevant. Every single retailer is also examining their entire purchase journey to make sure they are making the most out of every single customer interaction. There is one area, however, that is traditionally largely ignored or under-leveraged, and that is the post-purchase transactional communication. You know, when we talk about these transactional communications, we're talking about things like paper receipts, digital receipts, package slips, order confirmation, shipment notifications, survey emails, trigger journeys, or really any communication that is issued after a purchase is made. We believe these are all powerful messages or vehicles that can drive customer engagement, and they can also fuel loyalty when properly leveraged and personalized. So Glenn, in today's webinar, we hope that attendees can learn a little bit more about how they can improve their overall customer experience by focusing on these post-purchase communications.
Excellent. Thank you, Tomas. And on that note, we could take this over to the retailers here. What problem were you trying to solve by enhancing your transactional touch points? And we could throw this one over to Sandra.
So biggest problem was actually very, very basic but foundational. We had hundreds of millions of transactions a year, but we could only identify roughly 20% of customers, in the sense that we did what most retailers would do. Would you like to join our mailing list? Very often the customer was either already on the mailing list or politely responded that, oh, you know what, I already get too many emails. So the idea was, what can we provide at every transaction that the customer would want to identify themselves? And proof of sale comes in as a close second to what customers expect to be able to walk away from at the end of their purchase. So we've been able to reframe the conversation as to, you know, give us an email address because we can provide you with this increased or augmented receipt much, much better than the paper receipt that you would normally get. So we were solving, honestly, just for visibility, and we've been able to increase visibility. I'm proud to say that last week our capture rate came in at 62%. So that is a phenomenal increase in just the space of 3 years. The other thing that this has been able to provide us with is being able to build customer profiles to better understand what the customer is doing and inform future communications with them.
Great. And we could throw that one over to Jennifer.
At GNC, we've been on really a personalization journey, and this is one of the multiple touch points that we have where we're trying to drive and increase engagement with our customers. This touch point, really, we're looking to seek customer retention as well as repeat trips. And the digital receipt allows us to do this by helping to maximize that share of wallet for our customers. We know that customers access their receipt multiple times for various reasons, so we want to be present for them with multiple tiers of messaging to meet their needs.
And finally, we have Brent.
Yeah, actually, I think Tomas said it best, is that oftentimes the receipt at the end is forgotten. And for many years, I think Under Armour, we've had a digital e-receipt with our out-of-box point-of-sale solution. And we used it, but it was kind of antiquated, right? It was some type in an email with a couple hyperlinks, and you know, it was a paper image or a PDF image of your paper receipt. And so, you know, as a leader in global store experience, we kind of said, well, we got to do better than this. And Under Armour's mission is Under Armour makes you better. And there was nothing making us better about a PDF image of your paper receipt. And so that's really why we decided we needed to see what was out there and what could be possible with this platform.
Excellent. Great answers from everyone. And we have our first poll question of the day. This is coming in, and just so everyone is aware, we will be sharing the results of these answers with all the attendees once the webinar concludes. So make sure to stay tuned once you leave the webinar. The first question here is, do you leverage purchase insights to personalize your receipts, packing slips, or order notifications? 3 answers here: yes, no, or not sure. The next question really is, how have you leveraged digital receipts in particular to address these challenges? And we'll start off with Sandra.
So as mentioned earlier, our biggest issue was really visibility. We've been able to get the customer on board with identifying themselves at every time that they come in for a transaction, really making a difference between just straight acquisition of email addresses and really overall capture to truly understand what our customers are doing. This has allowed us to stand up customer profiles to fully understand what our customers are purchasing with us when they're coming into store, marrying that with their online purchases if they are omni shoppers. It's actually allowed us as well to improve recommendations and how we go and speak to the customer going forward. And we found it to be very successful to the point where we're actually talking to our franchise partners about introducing similar solutions as they're ramping up their own businesses.
Good stuff. And how has the GNC team leveraged these digital receipts?
As we've been trying to drive personalization and repeat sales, similar to what Brent said, we've really made the receipt more engaging. We want to drive interaction with the receipt to lead to that next purchase with us. Right, we've done that through ways by not just listing the items, but showing the image, linking out to descriptions. And this is by far the most engaged portion of our receipt. And we've continued to enhance beyond that in ways to drive upsell and capture future purchases, as well as driving future loyalty engagement. So really that digital receipt is serving many purposes for us in trying to drive the increased relationship with our customers.
Sounds good. And finally, we have Brent for Under Armour.
Yeah, it answered our challenges pretty much instantly, right? The minute we rolled it out to all of a sudden go from having text and hyperlinks and an attached receipt to having, an HTML-based, marketing tool, right? That when a customer, when they leave the store and their phone buzzes, they can pull it out and they can see an Under Armour branded receipt with links within it of the product that they just purchased, that they can click and direct them back to UnderArmour.com. So really, the moment we launched it, we saw the initial challenge that we were trying to resolve was fixed. So it was a big win, and there was definitely some ancillary benefits that kind of came up as well. So
great. And like I said earlier, we will be sharing these answers with all the attendees as the webinar concludes, so stay tuned for that. This is your brand experience consistent across all your transactional communications? And once again, we have 3 answers here: yes, no, or not sure. And now on to the results. For the Aldo team, what kind of results are you seeing from your program thus far?
And I can't say it enough. Obviously, capture rate is the biggest one for us in terms of visibility to what we're getting from our customer base, the acquisition of new email addresses. I mean, we saw 3 million within 12 months of rolling out the program. It's also a much more inspiring experience, and it's allowing us to engage the customer in ways that just aren't possible when they're walking out with a paper receipt. It maintains the conversation a little bit longer. We've been able to serve up content either for upcoming collections in a way that we wouldn't be able to do, because the thing that we need to keep in mind here is a lot of our customers maybe aren't paying attention to our promotional emails, and now we're getting through this particular e-receipt the ability to talk to an audience that wouldn't necessarily be paying attention to the daily emails. So we're quite pleased with the results.
Awesome. And take it away.
So we've seen some really interesting and somewhat surprising results from our digital receipts. If you start at the top of the receipt, we typically use this for a promotional area. We have a two-tiered loyalty program here at GNC, and we're always trying to incent people to pay up into our upsell Pro Access tier, which is our paid tier of our loyalty program. And so we started giving ads to people and encouraging them to join that program. And we saw a 10x lift for people being interested in that program versus some other ads that we were promoting to them. So that's performed very well. As I mentioned earlier, the middle part of the receipt is really the type of part where people are engaging the most. So they're going there to look at the product, to go find more information about it. So we thought this was a great opportunity for us to promote subscriptions, to get customers really hooked in getting that same product from us over and over. And we are seeing that people are likely to do that. Over 10% of the purchasers do engage with this auto delivery option when they're going to look at that product. And then finally, at the bottom of the receipt, we wanted to continue personalization by driving customers to additional products that they may want to purchase based on some of the stuff that they had purchased in their recent transaction. And we're seeing some successful sales from those upsell products, with 7% of sales coming from those products specifically that we are recommending to them.
All right, and then finally, again, we have Brent from Under Armour.
Yeah, so we're pretty early on in our program. We just launched at the end of last year, and so talking to Jennifer and Sandra earlier, I'm definitely looking forward to the results that they've seen. But we've seen some pretty positive results on our end. Definitely great feedback from the store teams. They're more willing to talk about an e-receipt and offer the e-receipt to a customer than they were in the past, so that's a big win. And I think, really just the adoption and the fact that I heard this stat, it might have been actually on a retail TouchPoints call, that by 2020 there will be more people who have a cell phone than have electricity. And, that's pretty earth-shattering statistic. And so when we think about the power of having an e-receipt that's mobile-friendly, that's HTML-based, that's where everyone's living right now. And so when you have your phone buzz in your pocket and you pull it out, you have that urge to get rid of the notification. Well, the notification might just be that you got a new email. And what are you going to do to get rid of it? You're going to open up that email, and the first thing you're going to see is, the global campaign for marketing that we're launching, or potentially the customer feedback survey, right? And that was something that we saw a huge win in, was just simply putting a thumbs up and thumbs down on a receipt. We were able to see a pretty huge increase in customers' willingness to tell us how their in-store experience was. So we're excited to really put some numbers to these this year, and looking forward to where the program's going to go.
Excellent. Well, yeah, glad to see all three programs here have excellent results. So great on that end. And now that we have it, we're at our third and final poll question. Once again, just to make this clear, we will be sharing these answers with all attendees as the webinar concludes, so feel free to stay tuned there. Question 3 is, are your receipts generating incremental sales? 3 answers here: yes, no, or not sure. And we have a pretty interesting question ahead here. What led you to work with a vendor rather than building a capability in-house? And Aldo team, can you start?
So Aldo was founded in 1972, and very often it feels like some of our systems have been with us from the very beginning. It needs a team basically to keep it going, and we would have had to spend so much time and energy trying to re-architect or create integrations to be able to provide e-receipts on our own. The wonderful part about working with Flex Receipts was we had the opportunity to leverage their expertise, and they found a way to make it work with our own legacy POS systems, which is a huge win in our books, because we were able to benefit from the solution without spending months trying to make it play nice, if you will, with our own existing ecosystem.
Great. Jennifer, this is all to you.
Okay. So FlexEngage, as Sandra said, are really experts at what they do, and we chose to work with them because they really create a seamless experience for us. Many of the great results that I told you about earlier are a result from FlexEngage proposing different things for us to try and different things that might make sense to improve our results. So we continue to change and update the way that we're doing things, and that's largely a result of FlexEngage proactively reaching out to help us to maximize the value of our program.
All right, and finally we have Brent again.
Yeah, I would really echo the same thing Jennifer and Sandra said. You know, here at Under Armour, we've got a lot of really smart people, and they certainly understand the digital marketing, receipts from .com service. But thinking about the power of a receipt in a retail space is kind of a new muscle to Flex. It's not something that I think we've instinctively thought was necessary or possible. And so to have the experts at Flex engage, kind of help steer the direction, give us some facts, some industry numbers, was pretty powerful. And so, on top of it, they actually had a relationship with our current point of sale vendor, so they were able to pretty much make it a seamless process for us. So I think all those things combined led us to say, let's see what the results are if we use somebody out of house, and if they're successful, let's continue to move forward.
Now, beyond the primary objectives here, were there any other benefits that any of you have realized that may not have been as apparent at first? And once again, Sandra, you could start.
Okay, so for starters, it gave us yet another channel to be able to communicate efficiently with our customers. I mean, at the end of the day, this is a transactional email, and we all know the strong KPIs that we get from our customers with this type of communication. We were able to deliver messaging surrounding upcoming events in store. We were able to find yet a new home for our voice of the consumer surveys, a little bit, I think, like Brent and Jennifer mentioned earlier. For us, another benefit is it also drives additional traffic to our website. The vast majority of our customers shop exclusively in store, and little by little we can provide them with extra opportunities or extra incentives to come and visit our website. We're leveraging predictive intelligence in terms of product recommendations based on the purchase you've just made, both for complementary products or other products that are potentially in the same style category. And we're also using it as an incentive to register customers into our engagement program. So just a very thorough way of continuing the conversation with our customers.
Great. And how about the added benefits at GNC?
Sure. As we've continued to engage with this digital receipt program, we found more and more ways to engage with our customers. One of the things we've recently started testing is asking customers for a store review within their site, and that's driving search rankings. It's an added benefit that really helps us with multi-channel integration that I initially never would have thought would have been possible through our digital receipts. This area is getting a ton of high engagement, and it's been so successful that we're continuing to explore other ways to drive these reviews and looking at product reviews in addition to store reviews.
Excellent. And finally, once again, how's the Under Armour team been doing?
Yeah, I think the biggest success that I don't think we were realizing at first was the open rates. So our digital marketing team came to us quickly when they found out the open rates were as high as they were. We were really excited about that, right? We weren't looking at our e-receipt as a platform to drive all of the things we discussed in this call. And then once we went live, we saw pretty quickly that it was exactly that. So, we're definitely excited to see how this could drive global campaigns, worldwide. And, I think the other thing that the FlexEngage team told us we would experience, but it was certainly exciting to see it actually, come to life, was the cross-channel sales, actually being able to drive traffic to your website, make purchases from your retail store. And so, when you think about being where the customer is at all times, this is really getting to them where they need to be. So I think there's a lot of benefits we've seen even in the short time that we've rolled it out, and I'm excited to see what's to come.
Excellent. And our final question is dedicated towards the future. What is next for your transactional communications, and what is the next phase on the roadmap? This time we'll start with GNC. Jennifer?
Great. So we've had such great success with working with FlexEngage. We have a couple new projects on the runway with them. First is printed receipts, right? So there are still a number of customers who come into our store and want a printed receipt, and we're going to be looking at ways to serve more personalized offers to those customers on that printed receipt. As I mentioned, personalization is a big initiative for ours, and we've really just hit the tip of the iceberg for personalization. So having that offer area within that printed receipt as well as the digital receipt will help us get those offers to all customers who come into our store. And then secondly, we've just recently launched digital packing slips. So traditionally when an e-commerce order arrives, you get that piece of paper that has the contents and doesn't necessarily serve that great of a purpose. Well, we've converted that to a digital touch point where we're able to both tell the customer about what's arriving in their package as well as serve them an offer for another purchase via the store. And we're seeing some great traction with getting some of that multi-channel engagement between our online and store customers.
Great stuff. And now we'll take that to the Aldo team.
So I think we're going to definitely take a look at the best practices that Jennifer and Brent have been sharing, leverage some of that. On our short-term future timeline, we are looking to launch loyalty in the fall of 2019, so we will definitely be integrating Flex into that whole rollout as a way to obviously get the word out on the program, facilitating sign-ups through hyperlinks within the e-receipt, also being able to eventually provide summary wrap-ups, if you will, of the loyalty activities so that the customer understands where they're sitting vis-a-vis the different thresholds and things like that. And we're going to continue using it as a means to demonstrate to the customer that we've been paying attention to their purchases and providing more and more relevant communications to them via this receipt.
And finally, Brent, take it away.
Yeah, so I think we're looking forward to expanding on our product recommendations. Right now we have some standard offerings on all the receipts, but seeing if we can actually link that up to our personalization tool. So, every individual would get a recommendation based off of the purchases they've made that day. So that would be pretty exciting. It'll direct them right back to UA.com so they can make a purchase that direction. And also looking at just personalized offers, right? So potentially doing bounce backs or, channel specific offers like for our brand house or our factory house, our outlet stores. And then this year looking to see what they can do for global brand marketing campaigns. So when we have a new curry drop, can we market it through the e-receipt? So pretty exciting stuff there. And I think most importantly, and we're already working towards that, is expanding outside of North America. So currently FlexEngage is in all of our North America retail stores, but expanding it to the other regions as well.
Awesome. Yeah, definite stories from all three of you, Jennifer, Sandra, Brent. Thank you so much just for being able to share really how transactional communication has affected your company in a positive way and will affect even more in the future down the line. So great hearing these success stories. And finally, I'm going to take this one to Tomas again. Tomas, if you would, please tell me a little bit about some of the initiatives coming on from FlexEngage.
Yeah, thank you, Glenn, and thank you all for all the really nice, kind words you've said so far. Hopefully what everybody's heard throughout this webinar is that post-purchase communications can and actually should be an important part of your personalization or customer experience strategy. At FlexEngage, we've built a platform that helps brands manage and personalize all post-purchase communications. Again, like we've talked about receipts, package slips, and e-commerce notifications. Traditionally, all of these communications are managed by different systems. They require IT involvement. or are just difficult to keep up to date, and that results in inconsistent, static, and unengaging communications. But what we've done is we integrate with all your transactional systems and then gives brands and retailers an easy platform to maximize all of their post-purchase communications. That's why we typically like to say, what if every transactional touch point was personalized to engage shoppers? What if every transactional touch point was just the beginning of a new conversation and a new engagement, right? As you've heard, Aldo, GNC, and Under Armour are all existing happy customers that are leveraging our platform, and we'd love to help any others that are out there and that may be interested. If anybody would like more information, you can feel free to reach out to us at hello@flexengage.com. Once again, that's hello@flexengage.com. And now I'd love to open it up to questions from the audience. Glenn, can you lead us with that?
Excellent. Well, thank you, Tomas, and thank you all so much for the fantastic presentation. I believe you all gave our attendees very clear insight and best practices into how to optimize the post-sale relationship between retailers and their consumers, especially when it comes to really building out these effective transactional communications. So great stuff from all of you there. We've made up a chunk of our hours, so I'd like to get to as many questions as I can. Again, to all of our attendees here, don't panic. If you have any questions, we'll try to facilitate those follow-up conversations later on. And the first question coming in is coming to Brent, really, especially since you got involved with the FlexEngage platform very recently. Tell us a little bit about how long this really took to implement, as well as just the difficulties in putting this all together.
Yeah, so thanks for that. We actually started talking to FlexEngage a few years ago, and then more recently, at the end of last year, we wanted to get some urgency under it. So at first, we looked internally. We kind of talked to our .com teams and some of our technical partners to see if we could just launch it internally, and it seemed like it would be a pretty heavy lift to launch before holiday like we wanted to do. So we fully engaged the FlexEngage team and said, hey, let's make this happen. And really, we were able to do it in weeks, not months, and it was a very, very smooth process. So yeah, thanks, guys.
And we have another question coming in as far as the starting point here. Where did you guys start with this, and how did you get into this whole post-sale transaction?
I can kick us off here. And I think ultimately we were looking for, like we kind of said on the call earlier, just a more engaging way to talk to our customers. And so the PDF image of the receipt was not doing it for us. And so when we saw what FlexEngage was doing, being able to connect the consumer directly back to our website, we thought it was a pretty powerful tool. One of the things I heard recently, there's a guy named Doug Stevens. He's referred to as the retail prophet. He was referring to stores as media, and stores are the new media for brands. And so, what better place to activate our media than in their pockets when the receipt comes through at the end of a transaction. So, when our leadership saw it, everyone got really excited as just another place to hit our customers.
And this is Jen from GNC. I can continue to add to that. We've been with FlexEngage for a number of years, and we've recently, in the past couple of years, really amped up personalization. We had a launch of our new loyalty program. We continue to put more and more personalization tools in place. FlexEngage's partnership really becomes an extension of those personalization tools. While our receipt initially was very basic, we are now adding more and more personalization and customization to what is going on within that receipt. And I shared a little bit about that when we're talking about upgrading to our higher tier of our loyalty program or some of the products that we're recommending to customers. We continue to want to make sure that the receipt experience is engaging for our customers, and they continue to access those receipts multiple times, and then that leads to future purchases.
Like I said, if we're going to take the time to actually, or take our customers' time and have them pay attention to us, we just owe it to them and to ourselves to be able to maintain a high level of personalization and quality, and it's not something that you can get from a traditional paper receipt. So Flex has enabled us to deliver that.
Excellent. And it looks like we have one more question regarding what does it really take to manage multiple of these campaigns at once, particularly when it comes to after the sale?
I'll take that one. It's Sandra for Aldo. On our side, we have a weekly touch point, so we spend maybe an hour a week, and in that we're talking about past results. So we talk about key KPIs, revenue driven in the past period. We're also doing a little bit of planning, making sure that the Flex Engage team is fully aware of what our promotional and marketing calendar looks like so that we can coordinate deadlines and work back schedules with them and on our side. After that, it's a question of making sure that the team briefs in our creative resources in terms of producing the banners that we need. So it's really not that much heavy lifting on our side.
And this is Jen from GNC. I'd 100% echo Sandra's comments. It is super easy. We also do a weekly meeting where we're reviewing results. Flex Engage continually brings suggestions from other clients of things that they have tried and found success doing. We take it back, bake some ideas, come back to Flex Engage with what we want to implement. They're super fast to turn that around. The account team is really amazing, and we're off and running. So I would tell you it's not even a full person that manages this campaign. No. That's just a small part of their job.
Yeah, same thing here.
And for us, being fairly new at the program, we were really excited about the fact that we really didn't need to have anybody after the go live. So we knew we wanted to stand it up and kind of see the success and see the open rates. But once we did the initial lift to get our standard receipt lifted, we were able to just kind of let the program run. And now the digital marketing team, like we talked about earlier, is excited about what they're seeing. And so they're engaging on the next steps of the program.
Excellent. Well, on that note, Jennifer, Sandra, Brent, Tomas, obviously thank all of you for participating in this webinar today and for sharing your steps in leveraging this personalization to reshape the post-sale experience. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And once again, I'd like to remind you that we are also the hosts of the annual Retail Innovation Conference, which is returning to New York City in May 6th through 8th, 2019. It will be held in Convene right in Midtown. Each of you watching this webinar already have earned one entry into the drawing to get a free ticket to the conference, so stay tuned for that. And once again, I would like to thank you all for attending and give you the opportunity to catch up on all of the CCS 19 webinars here. The link is provided on the page. Just to let everyone know, once you sign up for this one webinar, you get access to every single webinar and piece of content that the Consumer Connected series has to offer. Thank you all very much, and enjoy the rest of the CCS.